What's up YouTube, Pascal from Raid and Trade here. This is my final video or semi-final video about what is happening with green, why is it bad or why is it rogue and can't get any tops, and how Bandai can fix this color and these decks. Today we are talking about the rest. These are the so-called non-science or non-android cards. Originally I wanted to put in Zamasu, like I said in the last video here, from the newest BT20, I think it's BT23 set, but I decided to go over it for in an extra video just for Zamasu, because I thought, hey, Zamasu is exactly what is happening with green, so I can go into detail. Why is green weird? What is Bandai's logic with green and how we can fix this? This video will be coming out, I think, next week. So yeah, you can watch that one. In this video, we will talk about King Piccolo from BT18, the Majin Buu from BT14, and the Cooler Unison deck from BT17. Just a Bricklamer. These decks are by no means bad. These are goodish decks, roguish, I think. We can talk to them. If you put in enough hours and enough playtime, you can top with them, like it happened with Cooler. But it is extremely harder to top with these decks instead with decks like the top meta, which is right now Universe 7 Goku, or the Ender 21s, or let's say the red decks like Jiren and or the Green Gohan deck. So let's go over it. Let's start with King Piccolo. What is King Piccolo? King Piccolo is an aggro green deck. It has an amazing one drop. We'll talk about it later. It spams out 2 and 3 costs, like really fast. You can awaken easily. You're just saying you awaken at 4 or less life, or have 3 or more Demon Clan cards. Either of these effects will take place on turn 2 or turn 3, so you will awaken every time on turn 2 or turn 3. You have a good draw if you start with the 1 draw. You have a unique-ish protection effect with the, where you're putting Z cards from your Z energy to protect your cards. You have a medium-sized engine. This is good because then you can do a lot of stuff with your non-engine plays cards. You have a free counter attack. You got the new King Piccolo tournament pack promo card, which is huge, massive, good. Your boss card gives massive boosts, and also you have a 25k crit Z leader. What went wrong with this deck? So you either go hard or you lose hard. You go into this deck, you can spam out really fast. If you can do that and your opponent doesn't stop you, you win. If your opponent has 1 or 2 floodgates, you lose. You can't not lose with this deck if you're getting floodgated, except the newish floodgates where you're putting cards from your hand to your Z energy or your Z energy to your drop, but both of these cards also stop this deck hard. One weird thing is that you're having barrier only on your turn. This was a huge factor against yellow because of robotic riposter. So if you're going for aggro and you're getting ripostered, you can't put your cards to rest mode because you have floodgate and you're getting ripostered, and it says you have to choose cards. It's his effect, so you can't choose your cards for this effect and put them to rest mode to attack. Weird enough, but yeah. Your boss cards cost way too much. For either you have to pay the both Fated Rivals to get your boss cards, or you can evolve, which is also not pricey. Also, your 15k power cards lose against every 20k Z leader without your Z leader, because your Z leader pushes them. But if you're not in your Z leader form, all your attackers are 50k in power. Many decks can Z awaken on turn 2, turn 3 right now, like Mekikabura, and they are having 20k baseline. So yeah. Also, your Z leader doesn't draw. That means your Z leader must have to be your last push. If you don't go into your Z leader as your last push, you will get problems over time, which is correct because it's an aggro deck. Also, green is not the best color for aggro. It has good aggro potential with the new Cooler regional promo, the Fated Rivals, all these dual attackers, for cheap dual attackers like the Android 18 and Goku, but red is preferred in aggro. What are the strengths and weaknesses of this deck? So you have an amazing turn 1 going second or turn 2 going first. if you start with the 1-drop. You have, because if your leader attacks, you can play out 3 demon race cards, and with your 1-drop Piccolo either draws or and takes a life, or yeah, you can go even further. You have immense pressure. You have a 20k 5k crit double strike, crit leader. Oh, I think it's not double strike. I think it's an issue. You can play a lot. Ah, no, you can give a double strike. Yes. You can play a lot of non-engine. You have good Z energy acceleration. Also, your new promo gives barrier during your turn. But like I said before, your new promo gives barrier during your turn. This is an aggro deck you want to keep in the field, or make it harder for your opponent to remove your field so that you can go even faster. And if you're having barrier during your turn, it's not as impactful as having barrier during your opponent's turn. Also, which is really weird, your new promo has to pay 1 energy to search for the King Piccolo 1-drop. This is something that bothers me a lot, because sure, you can play it for free, but then you have to pay 1 energy to search the 1-drop, and then pay another 1 energy to play the 1-drop. It's weird. It's really, really weird. If this, so your 1 cost King Piccolo costs essentially 2 energy. Also, it only protects through KO by skill, so you're losing against Warp or a lot of minusing from Red. Your life gets drained really fast. Like I said, aggro deck, go hard, go fast, go hard, or lose. It's not a saying. I think an aggro deck needs a floodgate right now, which is only possible for dominant potential in this deck, because it's not a saying. Uneasing Awakening Rage is also an immensely good floodgate, but you can't play it. Also, if you don't get the 1-drop, you lose. You have to get the 1-drop, and you have you have no real anti-floodgate cards except Focus Breakthrough or other iffy cards which cost a lot. So yeah, you will lose against floodgates a lot of the time. This is a simple deck list of this deck. I'm getting the Overram package because, like I said, you have a lot of you're going really fast, really aggro. You can also put in the Spirit Bomb Goku and for the super combo effects. And yeah, that's the example deck. What does the deck need? Please errata the promo to grab the King Piccolo for free. It's easy. This makes the deck way consistent, because you can, if you're going second, you attack, you play the new promo, you search the King Piccolo, you play the new King Piccolo. Also, you have no keywords on battle cards. Your only card which gives a keyword on the battle card is your combo card, which says if it's comboed, you give double strike, which is not enough. You have no anti-floodgate cards. Give the second anti-floodgate card, and maybe it will get better. Also, why, like I said, it needs barrier during your opponent's turn for protection from red, black. I mean, yellow can put your cards to rest mode so that you can't re-rest it, but yeah. And it has like 0 barrier removal except of defeated rivals, and so you have to play non-engine cards like the Goku and Gohan Super Rare, which is not a bad card by any means, but if your opponent is smart enough, you can play around it. Then let's go further with the Majin Buu deck. So Majin Buu is as well a high aggression green deck. Your union absorbing cards from under your leader, which you're putting there when attacking. You draw a lot through Awakening. You have a huge Awakening chain where you can go from Awakening to the Awaken in 1 attack and draw a lot of cards. You can absorb keyword skills from your opponent's battle cards. It's insane. It has an amazing Z leader. This one is one of my favorite Z leaders in the entire game. That's why I looked into this deck. It has a really, really small engine, so you have a lot of place for non-engine cards. It has a lot of it has an in-engine floodgate. It can clear the whole board, and it has an insane turn 5. What went wrong? So this deck has no barrier removal. You can't. The only thing you can do is choose the barrier from your opponent's keyword skill, then remove cards. But then your leader only has barrier, which is not preferred. Red can just rush this deck down, and cards that can't be removed by skill are a huge problem, because they are just like towers for you. You can't out them. Also, this deck has a problem against floodgates, as every green aggro deck, because you have like 0 or 1 or 2-ish anti-floodgate cards which are not energy efficient. What are the strengths and weaknesses? You have a lot of 1-drop 15 to 25k attackers. You have great removal. You can your awakening turn, like I said, can be insane. You can steal any keyword skill for leader. You can remove Z extra cards. Z extras, this is one of the only deck that can interact with Z extras from your opponent. You can generate a lot of tokens. Yeah. What is the problem of the weakness of this deck? So you have floodgates, and this is one generic weakness, I would say. The freezer limit was hurtful for every green deck, but this deck will play an in-engine unison card for 1 energy, so you will always have a unison out for your freezer. Having only 1 freezer instead of 4, huge problem. It has a high skill floor. So if you're starting this deck, and you will probably make so many mistakes because this deck takes a lot of big brain moments. This deck loses against red, and barrier is awful to play against. This is a sample deck list. You can see everything here. You can see your 4 Barbies, which was for the freezer. You can see the generic cards which I put in, Dormant Potential, because it's not insane, Sage. But you play unison cards, so you can play Dormant Potential for free. This is good. Also King Piccolo for the new TP. And yeah, that's like the engine you see here is really small. You have I think it's 4 unison absorb cards. One is a floodgate. So you're playing it on your opponent's turn. If it's your turn, you just union absorb it to your better cards. And also you have the Spirit Boost semi-floodgate Majibu, which is currently good against Jiren, because if he's trying to attack 3-4 times with his leader, 2 or 3 times with his leader, you can block this. What does the deck need? Please give the deck a Boo 4-drop that clears barrier cards. If you're having like a Union Absorb card which goes into your Boo 4-drop, it doesn't have to have a lot of attack power. Make it like a 15k or 10k card, maybe a Piccolo absorbed or a Vegeta absorbed or a what if card, and then let it clear some barrier cards. It needs an anti-floodgate card, because if you're getting floodgated on your awakening turn, let's say that, where you're going to your awakening chain, then yeah. And please replace the freezer counterplay card. Let's go to Cooler. This is, I think, one of the best decks on this entire video series. It is a unison-based deck, so a lot of decks have a problem to interact with this deck. It has a really good front side, where you're going for Awaken. You can save Awaken, really good. You can play out Unison for free. You have a lot of good time against Battle Card Hate. Like I said, a lot of decks don't interact with Unisons anymore, except green. And you won't run into green mirror, except maybe the green Gohan deck, which is a huge problem for this deck, but yeah. You can go aggressive really fast. Your cards are super cheap. You can play them for free with your leader, and everything can attack really hard, like 15 to 20k if you're comboing. You have a lot of you have a lot of draws. You can draw like 2 or 3 cards per turn. You gain unison counters really fast. You have empowering, so your unison counters won't get lost at all. You have the freezer counterplay for 4 times with the Salsa. You can stop the 6-drop Goku with the, I think it's the Niece it's called, the orange unisoner. Yeah. You have built-in removal with your C deck. You have a good 1-drop. Only problem is you have only 1 good 1-drop. And you can go mid-range really fast. But you need to, this mid-range playstyle is, it's harder to play. You have a high skill ceiling for that. What went wrong? So, Unison support got cut since BT18. We can pray for good Unison support with C Unisons and with BT24. The only problem is if there is a ruling like with the extras where you only place them in your Unison area and not play them. Maybe this deck gets shafted, but let's see. Also, the ban of the freezer contemplate just hurt a lot, like in the green, what is it called? The green Boo deck, because your deck is only Unisons. You had 8 freezer counterplays, now you only have 5. Mirror match is horrible. Green got a lot of Unison removal. Every card can remove your Unisons for free, or put counters away for free. So you're having issues going up against that. You need to start your chain each turn. And yeah, aggro got even better, so you can get aggroed really fast. You only awaken it for less life. So it's rough. Jiren and Pan can aggro this down really fast. Also, yeah, your strength and weaknesses. You have a really good Z battle card. It has Deflect Double Strike. It costs 2 energy. It can go down to 2 Z energy because of the permanent, which will in this deck will obviously happening, because if you're not having 2 unison cards or 3 unison cards, 2 unison cards at turn 2 or turn 3 in your drop, you're playing the deck kinda wrong. Not the mid-range version, but yeah. If it's your turn, when your green unison card is placed in your drop, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier and KO it. So you have the ignoring barrier removal card into the step built in, and also this card goes to 25k double strike. Also, your activate main can play out your boss unison cards for 2 instead of for 4. Your free drop unison cards for 2 instead of for 3. You can play all unison support which came out until BT 18, I think. So you have the built-in floodgate where you have the dormant potential, which is kind of good because you have 1 counter attack unison card as well, which is also really hard to interact with. The problem is it's a fair deck. You need to invest a lot of time to get good with this deck. Like I said, U7 is also really hard, but if a bad player with a good deck plays against a bad player with a bad deck, the good deck will almost win, and always. So yeah, you can win. Like I said, you can top with this deck. It happened in the UK where top 8 with this deck was happening. That's where I got the deck list from. Huge shout out for that again. Your barrier removal out of C deck. You have only the barrier removal with your Z deck, which costs 2 energy. It's kind of costly. Like I said, you have only one drop card. If you don't start the 1-drop, you need to cycle unison cards on your first turn, for which you don't get any draws because you need to replace them. So it's better on if you're going second, or if you don't have to play them at all turn 1. Your non-unison bosses are hilariously bad. Don't play them at all. These are really, really bad. And Green Mirror is almost an auto lose, like I said. This is the sample deck list, which topped in the recent regional. You're having your huge unison package. You did go up with the earlier it was the Nice. It went for like play only 2 or 3 copies, but because of the U7 matchup, this deck has a really good U7 matchup, which I want to say. With the Nice, you can stop the 6-drop from attacking at all, which is insane. And but this only needs to happen if your opponent counters your salsa. So you have a counter play against the 6-drop and then counter attack it against the 6-drop. The only thing you have to prepare for is the 4-drop. But yeah, you have a dual blocker with the cooler, insane card. You can combo. You can combo from drop. Yes, which also gives you the Z energy acceleration. The promo cards for the deck were insane. You have the cooler 1-drop Unison, which also accelerates the energy, which also accelerates your Z energy, and a dual attack with, I think it's 15k as well. So yeah, and you have the board wipe with the golden freezer. You have hand controlish like-ish options with the freezer. Yeah, and you have the dormant potential for free. Also, like you see, you can play a lot of non-engine cards. What does the deck need? 20k power Z leader. It's like the answer for almost every deck in this format. 20k power Z leader is good. Currently, you don't need it that hard because of U7 ignores your almost entire with your power with the 4-drop. It gets 6-drop, it's better again. But like I said, this deck has a good Universe 7 matchup, so the 20k power Z leader would be good against the aggro decks. Maybe a second one drop card. You only have the cooler for. You have only the cooler. A new one drop which serves for specific unison costs would be good. Also, an anti-barrier unison card which goes around barrier would be perfect as well, because your counterplay, it's like the freezer card which just plays this card, and if it's played, you can choose a card and destroy it with, I think it's with cost 7 or less. Yes, so you can't go against barrier with your counterplay card. But it goes around the deflect. So it's a trade-off. Maybe give it another one drop card which go another unison card which goes around barrier. That's with this video. I hope you liked it and you enjoyed it. This will not the last video for this series will be the summer, so like I said, it will come out next week where I go over everything again. This deck is, I have it here. This deck, I built it. I have everything lying around here. I played it, I tested it. This deck is the reincarnation of why Bandai hates green, so let's look into this as well. And have a nice evening. This is Pascal from Raiden Trade, and I hope you have a nice day. Bye.